So, this is doing, I'm doing something I haven't done in a while, is a combo review. And it's a suggestion, two suggestions actually, from my very good friend Faith. She suggested that I review Nightmare Before Christmas and The Goonies. And keep in mind, I have little to no nostalgic connection to any of these movies. I saw like the first 15 minutes of Goonies when I was like 5, and that's pretty much all I saw. And in Nightmare Before Christmas, I would see bits and pieces of it, but I would never see the whole thing from beginning to end. So if you think that I'm nostalgically biased on this, I'm not. So keep that mindset, please. So Nightmare Before Christmas and The Goonies, they are like, just talk about films that just did mildly okay at the box office, yet it just exploded into popularity. And in some cases, like Night Before Christmas, it works. But with Goonies' case, uh, let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's talk about Nightmare Before Christmas first. And honestly, this movie really surprised me. Not just on an animation level, not just on a musical level, but just the simplicity of it is just, for lack of a better word, wonderful. Like, it's an idea that it's so simple that people don't really forget it. Where all holidays have their own unique world, and it's a very simple story told very effectively about appreciating what you have and the good things, but the bad things of curiosity. That is the story in a nutshell. But yet it allows for so much room for creativity. Like, you look at Halloween Town, like, just you look at this and think, yeah, this is Halloween. If Halloween had its own town, that would be it. Same for Christmas. You look at it and you think, yeah, that's a Christmas town. And it just allows for so much creativity and just the animation, the visuals, the sets, the props. It is amazing. And it's very surprising that a lot of the stop motion animation really holds up. Apart from one teeny tiny little frame that I noticed. I don't know how, but I noticed. It's when these were, like, at the beginning of the film, like during this Halloween segment, you could see like the bats like flying around. They're like the moon's like behind them. They're flying around, and I could see the strings. And I may or may not have ruined the illusion for you, but either way, you're welcome. Again, the music. The music is again wonderful. Danny Elfman. Like, this movie reminded me why he is such a great composer and a great songwriter. Like, you watch this film once, and the majority of the songs really get stuck in your head. This is Halloween. What's this? What's this? The Boogie song, Making Christmas. The whole thing goes on, and the characters. Some people kind of have a problem with the characters, and what I mean by that is that they're a bit too simple. Same with the story. Like, it's kind of too simple. There's no much surprises or real deep character development. It's kind of more like a fairy tale, like a book you read to your kids at the fireplace. And this is what I found out in the commentary, which is also great, that it was originally a book. Then it turned into a poem, and then it turned into a movie. And it was in rhyme, too. And some would argue that's not really enough to carry for over an hour, and I think it's 15 or 16-minute movie. I kind of, on the other side, like, I think it allows... It works. It definitely works. Like, is there a lot of character development in this? No. Is there a lot of surprises or twists and turns in the story? No. But it doesn't really matter, because it's like, again, it's like a fairy tale. And like, when you look at these characters, you don't really think, oh yeah, like Jack Skellington, he's going to have a lot of ethical dilemmas and emotional conflicts in the story. Or, hey, look at Oogie Boogie. He's definitely going to be a complex and interesting villain. Like, I think if you go in with that mindset and don't get overhyped by this movie that exploded into cult merchandise, you'll like this movie fine. And is it flawless? No. There's honestly, like one little problem I have with the movie, and it's really, really nitpicky. And what that is that there's one song where Sally sings. I think it's like 3/4 into the movie or in the middle of the movie. I can't remember. And well, like I said, a lot of the other songs are great. This one isn't really that good. Like, it's well done, but it kind of just goes in one ear and out the other. Like, it doesn't really have like a lasting impact compared to the other songs. But again, that's a really, really minor nitpick. Night Before Christmas is a really, really enjoyable film. It's got great animation, great visuals, very simple but wonderful story, great music, and yeah, it's a great movie. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but if you go in with a certain mindset, you'll really enjoy it. Now for Goonies, the movie I was a bit more anxious to watch, mainly because like this came out in the 80s, and like you see like its merchandise and quotes like all over the place, and I kind of think that this would be one of those movies that hasn't really aged well. Like, it's kind of be blocked off by nostalgia goggles. And surprisingly, I was kind of right. Now, it is not awful. I do not hate it. I do not love it either. For me, it's just kind of average. Like, you want to see the characters be kind of average. You want to see the sets be kind of average. You'll like this fine. Is there anything like I actually like in it? Well, there were actually some 4 or 5 moments that were legitimately funny. Like, there were like 4 or 5 little chuckles. But aside from that, the rest of the movie is kind of hit and miss. Like, say the child actors, like Brandon, is that his name? I can't remember. Like the big brother or Andy, like they act like real kids. But other times it doesn't really work. Like for the crap, I forgot his name. Like, he's the leader kid. He has the inhaler. He's like I don't know why. I just found him kind of bland to me. Like, he didn't really stand out. Like, compared to, this is probably an unfair comparison, but compared to Billy. He kind of is the leader trope of this movie, but he has like in that context of that story, he's a lot more interesting with the conflict of his brother being taken from him. That is interesting, but again, that's a bit of an unfair comparison. And there's one character who doesn't really, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just sitting here thinking, what is the point of this character? Like all these other characters, they have these like kind of unique shticks. Like Data has like a lot of the inventions. Mouth is quipping, says all those one-liners, and Andy is the preppy cheerleader girl, and I can't remember her name. She has the glasses, but then she falls and then she loses her glasses, and I just sitting here thinking, what is the point of this character? Like, she doesn't really add to much. Like, the only thing that makes her stand out at all is the beginning of the movie where she is like diving in a barrel for lobsters. And does that come in later in the movie? Nope. Like, it doesn't, like, she doesn't make like a little quip or like a little line, like something about lobsters or like anything remotely interesting. She's just kind of there, and like she's just not, I'm not sure if that was the intention, but that's how it comes off to me. So in the end, Goonies is a bit of a mixed bag, honestly. It's really hit and miss in terms of like the acting, the characters, the comedy, the sets, and I'm not sure if that was the intention or not, but I think if you, like with Nightmare Before Christmas, like if you go in with the right mindset, I think you'll like this fine. It didn't really grab me. I mean, I can see why people like it. It's like a swashbuckling, kind of more of a kid-friendly Indiana Jones, like kind of looking for treasure, I think you could call it that. But yeah, it just didn't really grab me. I'm probably going to be expecting hate mail later today or maybe tomorrow. So yeah, there's Nightmare Before Christmas and Goonies. Even if I review a movie that I don't like, I do appreciate that you guys give me suggestions, because like I'm seeing that you guys are involved. You want me to see new movies that I may or may not have seen before. I want you guys to get involved on this one, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, Faith. Thank you for that. And if you guys have any other suggestions or combo review, review, whatever, just send me them. I will gladly take a look at them. I'll for one coincidence, I'll probably have it myself, or maybe I'll get it from the library. I really like taking your guys' suggestions, is what I'm getting at. So that was Nightmare Before Christmas and the Goonies. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll probably see you guys later in the next one. Bye.